welcome to the Heritage Garden. I'm going to take off my mask now because you're far enough away. This we called the Heritage Garden for about 20 years. It was a project where we tried to show what a garden would be like back between 1890 and 1910. And volunteers from Door County Master Gardeners and also from the Sturgeon Bay Home and Garden Club worked very, very hard to plant authentic heirloom plants. And they worked very hard to make the garden just absolutely perfect all the time. This year with the COVID here, we were told that we couldn't have volunteers working together in the garden. And so what to do, and we didn't want to leave it fallow. And I want to introduce Nancy over here. I'll get out of the way.
Hi, I'll take up my mask too while we're talking. Well, I came to Coggin with an idea. The Seed Library was doing a Victory Garden project this year, and I thought, maybe Coggin would let me do with her a Victory Garden here, so I could plant some plants, and I'm using all heirloom plants in here, and so we could be in conjunction with the Seed Library. We could have our own Victory Garden and still be able to give our produce to the food pantries in Door County, which is what we do always with the produce we get from our heritage garden in years past. So that's what we're doing. So we've got.
Well, wait a minute. Let me say something here. The kind of interesting thing about Victory Gardens is they started back in World War I because they wanted to grow food for the home front when the troops were overseas, and so at that time, any piece of private land or public land, the government wanted you to plant in a garden. So people had gardens in their homes, they had gardens in parks, they had gardens in museums, everywhere. After the war was over, there were two horrible things. Europe was completely decimated, and the United States wanted to send food to the poor in Europe to save them. But the other thing is there was a pandemic on, of all things, and so a lot of people couldn't grow their own food. And so even after the war was over, they kept having Victory Gardens. And so here now, 100 years later, we have a pandemic, and we want to grow food for the people who need it. So Victory Gardens seemed like a good thing. And instead of doing all the heirloom plants we used to do, we're trying to grow food that people actually know how to cook and really want. Now take it here.
Okay, come on in and I'll show you the garden, show you what we've got going on. As Coggin said, we wanted to grow vegetables that would be welcome in the food pantries, and so we've got some peppers. And peppers like basil, so I put them together, and our basil is going great. And in the spirit of good gardening everywhere, vegetable plants love flowers, so we wanted to have some flowers around as well. So some nasturtiums and some zinnias and some marigolds, of course. Marigolds are a great companion plant. We've got tomatoes, have a lot of varieties of tomatoes, particularly some beefsteak tomatoes, things that people will enjoy. Most people don't can and put up vegetables anymore like they did 100 years ago. So we wanted to have highlight the plants in here that you would be eating right off, and not putting up. So focus on tomatoes, peppers, beans and peas and cucumbers. So that's what we've got going on in here. And we have a variety of bean that is a Door County original. Ken Poschke is a farmer who grew these beans for 50 years. So we've got Ken Poschke beans so that we'll donate to the Seed Library when we're finished. We also have our own compost pile. Decided to use the corner to make it easier for these old arms to move the compost. So the compost is in the corner there. Every garden should have a good compost pile.
If I could add something here, we encourage people to use the garden and come in, and we've known a lot of people will bring their grandchildren here to see what gardening was like when they were kids. And if there's a cherry tomato on a tomato, give it to the child. It's wonderful to eat real food off the thing. Have them pick a few beans. We can spare them. And to give kids a memory is really worthwhile. This has been a fun place for grandparents and grandchildren to spend time together.
In years past, the Heritage Garden, we have a lot of students come in, and it's surprising. We had a student here had never tasted a tomato, and it was really nice. We have a sweet, very sweet variety of tomato that we grow here, and so we gave him a sample. I don't know that he was convinced, but at least he didn't spit it out. So at least he had a first taste of a tomato, and it wasn't an altogether bad experience for him. So those are the kinds of things we really like to encourage folks to come in and experience the garden. We have a bench, so we encourage people to sit down and just take in the garden, enjoy all the butterflies and dragonflies that are going around, the bees that are hopefully pollinating our plants.
One thing I like to do with children is we have a lot of herbs over here, and just to let the kids smell different plants. So we have some lavender, we have basil, we have some mints. All of these plants have a different scent, and it's really fun to see the kids' reaction to the different smells. Not always what our reaction would be.
Yeah. We have some lemon balm here. That's a favorite for people to smell too. So it's been a really fun experience, and our Victory Garden has turned out nicely. You're here at a good day to see things taking off.
It's gorgeous. What a wonderful resource for our community to have. We're very blessed to have you share this with us today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We hope you come out and see our Victory Garden.